Although the library is a place for research, many Deree students do the research using the internet, and this has caused an increase in plagiarism cases. According to several studies, the internet has facilitated plagiarism, but what is it that makes students cheat?
You'll come across all kinds of reasons, which surveys conducted by specialists in the area, go into lack of time or cutting corners.
Sometimes I do this without knowing, because I don't understand that stealing some words can be considered as plagiarism. But some other times they do because they don't have any opinion about the subject.
The fact that they can obtain a grade in less time makes them break the regulations.
Digital technology makes it much easier and convenient to copy and paste, but it also shows how this generation of students does not understand the concept of intellectual property.
Students are very used to understanding that whatever is there on the internet somehow is part of public domain, that it's there for everybody to access at any time. They may not see things quite the same way when we're talking about books.
There are countless sites specifically built for essays, but beyond that, there are blogs where you can just get essays and put them in a passage as your own, and no one will ever, know anything.
I don't think it's necessarily a matter of understanding copyright, but I think it's a matter of somehow understanding more the concept of somebody's put effort into creating this, writing this.
I think that when you are presented with an option, let's say on the internet, to download an essay and pass it as your own, I think that's very tempting.
While other students do a proper research in the library, others copy-paste from the internet.
Melina and Fivos are two of the students that have plagiarized from the internet. Let's hear what they have to say about this experience.
You don't give the chance to yourself to learn some things, and you don't do any research, and the only thing you do is copy-paste it, and the result is that you don't learn, that's unethical, and you might fail the class.
A professor gave me the second exam, so I realized that there's no point to take the others' ideas, and I can go in my own library and take my own sources.
Being overwhelmed with information, students seem to forget that academic sources online are simply the digital form of printed works and must be acknowledged in exactly the same way as books. Nevertheless, one needs to be cautious on how to use sources.
The internet by itself is not guilty for this. You just find what you want, and there's plenty to find there.
So accessing the internet, sure, makes everything a lot easier, a lot faster, but it probably makes, therefore, the need to be more careful even stronger.
In the end of the day, that stands for everything on the internet. I mean, you can find points that are based on research, that are based on objectivity, and you can find points that are very biased.
The internet has also very good sources, but we have to know how to use them.
Internet plagiarism brings back the question of why students study if not to actually learn.
If the majority of students are in fact plagiarizing and not getting caught, then ultimately they're cheating themselves out of the education.
I think when you're in college and you're young, you sort of put things off and say that, okay, I'm gonna, work harder later on. But the thing is that if you don't learn how to do it, how are you gonna be able to do it when the time comes?
I would say that it goes back to what's being lost. And what's being lost is one's education. What's being lost is you're going to have a degree, and the degree will not mean much if you are plagiarizing.
In order to alleviate plagiarism, one needs to find its roots, which can be found at the early stages of education.
A definite way that you can prevent somebody from cheating is, first of all, making sure that they don't need to cheat. So this is where education comes in. If we start, let's say, young and have people take pride in their writing, and this idea of ownership, like when you write something, it's yours, you take pride in that.
On one hand, you have to, be aware of other opinions and other researches on your topic, but at the same time, you have to be respectful and to even educate people that there are other viewpoints out there.
It's supposed to be about finding your voice and understanding how other voices come in, but that you can't drown out those voices as if they didn't exist, but somehow acknowledging their presence.
Students might want to reconsider cheating their way through college if they want to be called professionals in the future.